Okay, so I am in West Hempstead at the moment. Not the best area, but I'm on a roof, and I'll show you what I'm dealing with. First thing is first, let me grab my new meter. Been putting it to the test. We got contactor pulled in, and we do not have anything running. I did not hear any noises. Didn't sound like it was trying to run. So first things first is I'm going to check for power. Turn that meter on, and let's see. Move that off to the side a little bit, and where can I put this? Right there works. And we'll go from one leg to ground. Nothing. Other leg to ground. Nothing. 5 volts. I'm gonna go from one leg to the other. See what I'm getting. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's no voltage there. Something could be shorted, but no difference on line to line. So I'm gonna be pulling out our disconnect switch right here. Disconnect is out. Just gonna confirm again, no power. No power. And let's check our disconnect as well. Don't know what's gonna have power and what's not. Doesn't look like I can easily check this, so. We probably do not have power coming up because we probably tripped the breaker. But I'm gonna start testing for open windings, and we'll see what we have. We just set it to ohms right now. And if we touch our leads together, you hear that beat. If I have any shorts anywhere, we'll hear that beat. No beep. No beep. No beep. Not getting any shorts. Let's take a look in our compressor. Compartment looks okay. I don't see any obvious frayed wiring. So now what we can do is pull off our fan and pull off our Rheem. Got it. And set our meter for microfarads. Right there, nanofarads, but it'll adjust. Let's go from our Rheem to our common. 44.7 UF microfarads. And we're rated for 45. Now let's go from our common to our fan. 5, we're rated for 5. So let's put our compressor back on, our fan back on. Let's give our fan a spin and see if we are stuck. Fan spins nice and freely. I don't see any oil like around the edges of the fan. And Schrader cores, our caps are loose. Give it a little bit of a spritz. See if there's pressure in there, just a light spritz. Yep, we have pressure in there. Seems like a good amount too. So, let's see. I'm gonna have to ask him to reset the breaker. And I'm gonna do a little more thorough test for shorts off camera beforehand, but you get the idea. Okay, so right now we're running. He reset the breaker and it immediately kicked on. And our amp draw, we have 10.2 amps. Does seem on the high side, but maybe not. What are we rated for? 16.7, and 1 on our condenser fan. And let's see, are we slowly going up or are we staying around there? I think we're just staying around there, yeah. Let's see what our fan is doing. This should be our fan. 0.8, that's not bad. Let's see if it says what it's rated for. 1.2 amps, so that's not bad at all. Filter dryer, our discharge line feels warm, very hot, and our suction line feels cool. Not cold, but it's also really hot in there, really hot up here. It's a heat wave right now, and it says 92. I think it might be hotter. I don't think my watch is updated to it yet, but get this out of there. And let's see, let's do some testing and see what's going on. Okay, I just removed our contactor and set the meter for Inrush amps. I removed the wire to the contactor, and we'll press it in and see what our Inrush is. Oh well, that's disappointing. 11.59.6. Let's see if I do that again without doing Inrush, if we can see what number it spikes up to. Definitely saw 40 there. Doesn't seem awful at all. What's our Rheem side of our compressor doing? 5.33. Let's see our fan side of our compressor. 0.31. That doesn't seem very bad. Or I'm looking at the wrong reading. 0.59. And our compressor, 5.3. Let's see about the other leg of our compressor right here. 7.93. And let's try this leg right here. 10.8. Yeah, our compressor amp draw seems okay. Strange. Okay, we got an 84-degree return with a 69-degree supply and slowly dropping. That looks okay. 68.8. Okay, so checking charge. We got low subcooling, and it'd be nice to bring our suction line down a little bit. But I looked at the chart, and it's calling for 390 psi and around 140 psi. So I think we're definitely going to be low. They want 10 degrees of subcooling as well. So I'm going to discuss that with him and see what he wants to do about that. As far as the unit tripping the breaker, I'm thinking maybe putting a hard start on. If the compressor is maybe starting hard at times, this will help push it through. But it's hard to gauge that one. It seems to be operating okay electrically. So we'll see what he wants to do. Okay, so this gentleman is completely rude and disrespectful. I tried my best to explain to him everything and just let him know that it's my professional opinion based on experience. He doesn't want to put refrigerant in, so we're not going to put the refrigerant in. I told him that I can't guarantee this if we don't, but he does want to do the hard start so it doesn't trip the breaker again. So I'm going to do that, and I'll show you it. Here it is. CSRU1 for 1, 2, 3 ton scroll compressors, 208, 240. And what we get in here is some screws, a little zip tie thing, a contactor, or a relay, a potential relay, and the hard start capacitor kit itself. And you look right here, it tells you exactly how to wire it. So I'm going to hook it up off camera and I'll show you afterwards. Okay, so here we have it mounted up there, wired in nicely. And what we have is a striped wire going to our Rheem of our capacitor. We have a red wire, which goes to the common on our capacitor, off of the start capacitor. And then we have a black wire which goes to our common on our contactor, the opposite side that runs to the common on the capacitor. So I put it up to Inrush again. We'll see what happens if it even reads it. But I'm gonna plug in this disconnect now and see if we can get Inrush amperage. Oh, yeah, it looks like, oh no, it looks like it was just reading amperage. We didn't get it in Inrush. Oh, that's such a pain. I'm getting really aggravated with this meter. Let me do this. Disconnect that. Okay, now let's see if let me press this again. Inrush. Peak. I don't know, let's see what happens. Oh well, still. That's annoying. Let's go to our regular. I gotta power it off and power it back on again. This thing's aggravating me. Maybe I just need to read the manual better. But amperage is about the same. I mean, the amperage while it's running isn't gonna change much, but I'm gonna document everything, fill it all out, and that's gonna be it. Customer doesn't want to spend money. They don't even want to pay because they said if it was just as simple as tripping a breaker, they shouldn't have to pay. But yeah, whatever. Okay, so that was really aggravating. Just the way that he was talking to me when I was telling him my opinion. But whatever, his system's running. We'll see what happens. He paid, so just did the hard start. On my way now to a Rheem call. We'll see if I record that. I did a few other calls today that I did not record just because it wasn't very exciting. I put a filter grill in place of just a grill, and I moved access to one filter from one side of the duct to the other side of the duct. And then I did a maintenance call and a heating tune-up. But probably gonna stop to get food on the way to my next call. It's towards my house. It's about 30 minutes away, and I'm starving, so we'll see what happens if I record the next one or not. Okay, so we got a hybrid heater here, and I have to change 3 thermistors. Never done it before, but as far as I know, I gotta take off this top panel to get access to inside, and I'm sure I'll figure it out. So I'm gonna take this off and we'll see what happens. Okay, so here it is. It looks like we've got one sensor on this line here, one right here, and one right here. So I'm working on getting to this one, but it's pretty tough to get to these. It's a real tight spot in here. Okay, so here's one out. That was the one that was right there. Had to cut a few zip ties, and it's got this gross stuff on it. But I'm gonna have to salvage this clip in here for the new one. And I don't think it matters. I think they're all the same thermistor. Yeah, they all have the same part number, so I'll get it on there and I'll wrap it with some new cork, pre-cut non-asphalt cork tape. Okay, new one is in on that pipe. If you could see it, probably not. Let me get my flashlight out. Very cramped spot. But right there, I made sure the pipe was clean where it's making contact. And I'm gonna try to get this tape around it. Okay, that's wrapped up nice and tight. And now I can pull that insulation back over and zip tie those wires. And I'll just do the rest without recording because you get the point. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I just pulled the next thermistor off from right there. And now I could see why it was having an error. Wire totally corroded and broke off. What I'm going to do when I put this back in, or put the new one back in, is I'm going to change the orientation of the wiring so that if water were to drip, it doesn't run into any connections. It could just run down like a drip loop. So I'll do that with the thermistor that I put in next. Okay, so both wires are, both thermistors are in place. I got that cork stuff on. That stuff was a nightmare to work with gloves, but my nice sweaty hands were great. It didn't stick to my hands at all. So tip for that, if you're ever doing that, make sure your hands are nice and sweaty. But I gotta just get that foam insulation back on everything, strap those wires in place, and put it all back together and get it turned on. Okay, so it's running, discharging 56.2 degrees, pulling in 93 degrees from outside. Okay, so that was nice and simple enough. It was a little like difficult to get in there, and I ended up like cutting all my knuckles up on the coil because I couldn't work with the gloves and that sticky stuff. But I'm actually heading now to an emergency service call. It's just about 5 o'clock, 45 minutes away. But she's a very good customer of Mike's, and I would rather do it today than tomorrow because I wanted to go out east this weekend. So I'm going to see what it is. She says the house has dropped a degree. Now it's been very warm today. It's been, right now I think it's 92, but it was 94 earlier. Her house was 74 when she called. She said it went down a degree to 73. So we'll see what's going on. It's not like the newest of systems, but it's still a fairly nice system. I recently replaced the evaporator coil though, so that's really the concern, is if something's going on with that. But we'll see. So far so good. I just stuck around the house, took a look at the condenser, made sure I didn't see any ice. And I just spoke with the customer. She's very, very nice. But I'm getting this temperature sensor. I'm going to get a temperature reading. It feels like it's actually working really well. And the temperature did drop to 72, but we're going to see what's going on. Okay, so far, looks like we're at about roughly a 14 degree differential. Maybe 15, but I took it at a register, so I'm getting my tool bag out. And I'm going to hook up my Testo smart probes just because we did replace the coil. They have had leaks, and we want to be sure that there's no leaks present. I got a good pressure test and a good vacuum when we did do this evaporator coil. I don't think there's a leak unless something's developed, but we'll see what happens. The unit's right here. It is a 3-ton Rheem Prestige unit. And get my impact out. Now Mike has been servicing this unit for like years upon years upon years. So he may have even put it in. With those nice bends, I would think so. Nobody really does nice bends in our area. Except for us. I just got this new Hillmore 1/4 inch 5/16. I wanted to try it out. So far the magnet's not good enough for me, but it is nice that the screws haven't been getting stuck on it, like from force or whatever. That's not what's important right now. And we got some condensation there, which is good. Nice and cold. That is some oily residue that I got there when I was hooking up my hoses, I think. I forget how that happened, but it's not a leak. That was the main reason I pointed that out. But pull our caps off. Oof. It's tight. Garbage from the last service call. And I think I put these caps on because of the O-rings. I like them better. Testo probes. I have been using these all day long, I think. I like to vent them out completely, turn them on, and open up my Measure Quick app, which you got right here. Toolbox, condenser pressure, let's zero that. Reading similar on our probes, so gonna get this one hooked up. I'll get them hooked up off camera, but I'll show you. Okay, just got them hooked up. Let's see what is happening. Superheat is coming down, subcooling is going up. 41 degree evaporator, 101 condenser. That seems about right to me. Subcooling is coming up there. Did we have a charge chart here? Now, I believe I just charged this to 12 degrees of subcooling when I was here. I don't recall, but we have cooling mode, vapor pressure, outdoor ambient temperature, 87 now, so we'll go shoot for the 85 to 90 range. Our suction pressure is 121. So we're looking for 308-ish to 329. Oh, we're dead on. So yeah, our charge between 308 and 329 and 121 on our suction. Okay, 121 on our suction between 308 and 329. And closer to that 329, but it's an older system, so I'm really happy with that. It looks like our system's working absolutely perfectly, but I'll stick around for a little bit and see what I think and check other things out. So I just let her know what was going on, and she actually already gave me a tip. I haven't even said I'm leaving yet, but yeah, it's working really well. Very happy. We've been hovering around 13 superheat, 13 subcooling, so it's nice. Okay, so although it looks pretty clean on all the other sides, the side closest to the house, it's not plug solid, but I'm gonna clean it because I'm here. And why not clean it if I'm here? She already has to pay all this money for time on the emergency. I'd rather do something for her, so I'm gonna do that. Okay, and for all you New Bright haters, that's what I'm using. I think this stuff's great, so I'm gonna continue to use it. Okay, so first we'll hit it with a nice just rinse with water. Why don't I have anything? I turned the hose on. I guess that means there's a kink somewhere.
Yeah. No kinks. No kinks. No kink. I have 0 kinks yet. Still no kinks. No kinks. No kinks. And no kinks. Oh no.
Do something here. Yep. That was it, I think. Let's see. And yep. Wow, that's some bad pressure, but whatever. And we'll give it a rinse with water. Then we'll rinse with chemical. Or we'll soak with chemical. Then we'll rinse that out. Wow, this water pressure is trash. Man. A little tough to record with wet hands, but I did soak it good. Let it sit for a little, and I'm gonna rinse it off before it does any damage. And I'm gonna rinse it off thoroughly to make sure to remove all of that chemicals so none of it sits there, because it is super, super potent. But just gonna do this till our water starts to run clean. Okay, I got the close-up on the camera. Guess it's tough to see. But our coil is nice and clean now. There's some little imperfections, but we're clean, really clean all the way around. Some staining, but start assembling it, get it kicked back on. That way our house doesn't start to get hot, and maybe it'll perform a little bit better for her. It's hot. I got some cold Gatorade. I got lemon lime. I don't really like lemon lime, but I got a whole pack of all the flavors, so it's running. We'll see if there's any improvement on the differential, the delta T inside, but I'm gonna wrap it up.
At the stop sign,
Okay,
turn left.
so finished up there. She's very, very happy to know that everything's working well. The delta temperature went up by 2 degrees, so hopefully it'll cool a little bit better for her. But that's gonna be it. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. It's 7:03 now. I'll probably be home by like 8-ish, 8 o'clock. Which is kind of nice. Sometimes it's nice to work later. So hopefully you enjoyed watching. Like the video if you liked it. Comment any advice or criticisms or feedback. And subscribe. Thanks for watching.